The White House is going full steam ahead with their purge of federal agencies, and they announced the next department on the chopping block. Take a look.
How soon do you want the Department of Education to be closed?
Oh, I'd like it to be closed immediately. Look, the Department of Education's a big con job. We're ranked, so they rank the top 40 countries in the world. Norway, Denmark, Sweden. I hate to say it, China, as big as it is, it's ranked in the top 5. And that's a primary competitor. We're ranked number 40. So if we're ranked number 40, that means something's really wrong, right?
We do need to delete entire agencies as opposed to leave part of them behind. If you don't remove the roots of the weed, then it's easy for the weed to grow back. But if you remove the roots of the weed, it doesn't stop weeds from ever growing back, but it makes it harder.
Yes.
So
I agree with everything they just said right there. It's like, yo, we trying to remove these departments because after 4 years of Trump's not in office or Republican not in office, they're just going to restart the stuff right back because everything's still in place for them to start it right back. We're trying to get rid of everything. So we don't get in the next 4 years. It's not easy to restart this stuff, re-kick it, reboot it, right just like that.
Yeah, and if the numbers are not good.
At all.
At all. Something's wrong.
They're atrocious.
With the system.
Yeah.
And it would take a lot more time to try to break down rather than just blow it up.
And start over from the beginning.
Start over from the beginning.
Yeah.
And implement things that'll make the situation better.
Yeah, it'd be like certain situations and when you try to get something fixed and it'd be like, it costs more to fix it than it's actually worth.
Yeah.
It seems like this situation. It's going to cost more to fix it, too much more to fix it than it's going to cost just to restart it all over and do something different.
is completely deleting these agencies and kicking education back to the states, because that's what this means. That's what it means. Is this going to make things run more smoothly? Maybe it will.
First of all, they're lying. He's a liar. The United States is not ranked 40. The United States...
It isn't. What is it ranked, Joy?
Well, the U.S. is ranked up there, better. It's not 40. They just make things up.
We're 29th in the world in math, and we're in the 20s globally.
Yeah, it's not 40.
So it's not 40.
Right. I mean, they get the...
I was a little bit off. The numbers is horrible.
Yeah.
When it comes to money per student, we give the most money per student. When you're giving the most money, you want ones.
Yeah.
Not nothing in the 20s, and we giving way more money than countries that's not even investing that much, and they're getting better results.
With less resources.
With less resources. I mean, something's wrong with the system.
These numbers from Elon Musk's son, the little kid. That's where they're coming up with this stuff. It ranks number 6 in reading, 12 in science, 28 in math. Okay, math's hard. But it's not 40.
That is hard.
But to cut, what happens 40. When they cut, what really bothers me right now, what's really making me crazy, because of the specific, I mean, is they're cutting programs for basically poor people, people who are in the minorities. And that's who's going to suffer. Yeah. You have this guy who's worth $1 trillion.
I would consider myself a poor person. I would consider myself a minority. And I say, cut this shit.
Yeah, it's not working. It's not working. Not when you going state to state and kids is reading below reading levels and something messed up with it.
I'm one of the people that she's saying is upset. And guess what? I'm not upset. It got to go.
Yeah, it has to be fixed.
I was in my kid's school for the whole school. I say it again. Math, they was at English, they was at reading level, they was at a 7% for the whole school on grade level. Math, they was at 4% for the whole school. Something's got to be done differently.
And that's who's going to suffer. Yeah. You have this guy who's worth $1 trillion, this Elon, and he's cutting things from people who need it. It's pathetic, and people should not put up with it.
My kids do not need to be around kids that the whole school is only reading on grade level at a 7%.
No.
They do not need to be around them kids. Something got to be done. It's not working. Like they said in Baltimore, in the whole city of Baltimore, not one kid in all the schools is on reading level.
Yeah, it's a problem.
It's not working.
Cutting things from people who need it. It's pathetic, and people should not put up with it.
Can I get in on this? Because, you know, getting rid of the Department of Education is actually the first goal listed in the education section of Project 2025. We were talking about Project 2025. We warned everybody that that was the playbook, and it remains the playbook, and they are playing by that book. It is also the smallest of all the government agencies.
They've been talking about 2020 Project 2025 so much on this show. I actually started watching videos to see exactly what 2025 is about. A lot of 2025 is about just reducing government. Exactly what they're doing, making government smaller because it needs to be smaller. A lot of these agencies needed to be gutted and started over, and just at this point don't need to be there no more because they just not working.
So if you get rid of the Department of Education, you really don't have this sort of financial boon that they're telling you that you're going to have. And I have a clip because there is a Republican senator. He's from Arizona. His name is Schweikart, and he has emphasized this. Congressman, rather. We have the clip.
Let's get rid of foreign aid. You just covered 1 week of borrowing. Can't tell you how many times I'm at home and people say, if we just didn't have foreign aid, we could balance the budget. It's a week of borrowing. U.S. will waste billions of dollars on the United Nations. Okay, get rid of the United Nations.
12 billion.
2 days of borrowing. Don't act like you just balanced the budget by doing something like that. Let's just get rid of the Department of Education salaries. Yay! You covered 9 hours of borrowing.
So you see? Yeah. So it's not really.
You have to start somewhere. He's only been in office 2-3 weeks. If it was a year, you would have so many cars that you was pulling up, you'd be tired by the time you was done showing everything.
Yeah, it's a lot.
He just started and he's already cutting stuff. Everything I seen up there was in the billions.
Yeah, they're all billions.
They're all not millions. We're talking about billions.
Really about saving money.
No.
I think there's a much more nefarious
Which is?
reason for it.
Which
I
is?
think it's because without education, you get cheaper labor. I think what they want to do is create in the United States a permanent underclass, a permanent cheap workforce, because educated workers cost more. That is the bottom line, and that's what they're doing.
So I don't agree with
Stuff that comes out their mouth. Like he's trying to get rid of that because he's trying to make people work for cheaper. No, he's getting rid of it because it's not working. You're not saying like he's getting rid of something that's been working and we're
Right.
1, 2, and 3 and everything. We're in the 20s and you saying, just keep it going. Because you know what's going to happen if you keep it going? The numbers just going to keep getting worse and worse. They're not going to get better from that system that we got in place. We need a new system
need a better
to get
system.
new numbers.
We need a better system.
Facts.
wholesale abolishing the
And
Department
I
of
like
Education.
how the process of in the process of creating a better system, they're not looking to. It has to be done.
Yeah.
If this is what they're gonna do,
Yeah.
they have to do it like this.
There's no other way to do it.
Because if not, you carry on all those bad tendencies,
trainings, teaching,
and clickiness, and you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's all the way across the board.
Yeah.
They got to start over.
They say the definition of insanity is keep doing the same thing over and over and over and expecting a different
result.
And that's what they're talking about.
Cheap workforce, because educated workers cost more. That is the bottom line, and that's what they're doing.
So I don't agree with wholesale abolishing the Department of Education by any means, but the United States does pay per student more than most developed nations.
Facts.
Yet we are falling behind in critical areas, specifically math, which is
Hard.
the STEM fields. It's hard, but the STEM fields are crucial to the next generation economy. So I'm all for looking for ways to actually use resources better to educate our
Exactly.
students. I'm not okay
I
with
like that
accepting that we aren't the top when we're spending some of the most.
We spend as much as Denmark, pretty much.
Yes, but we spend
Yeah.
more per student than most nations do, and we're
But we
still
don't pay the
behind.
teachers, so it
But
doesn't really matter.
We pay a lot on administrative costs.
But
though.
he was comparing the United States to the Scandinavian countries that are number 1 and 2 and 3 and 4.
But in general, I think
Yeah.
the United States should be the top of education. I think that we should strive for that. I don't think you get there by abolishing it, but streamlining it.
Well,
but I want to say one thing quickly on this, because this debate over
You definitely don't get there by doing the same thing that you've been doing.
At all.
Like you had enough test run to be like, we do it this way. Where would it lead us to? We see where it leads us. in the 20s.
Yeah.
We got to do something different.
Got to do something different. Got to raise the bar.
Yeah.
For the federal workforce. I think Republicans, especially Elon, are too quick to demonize federal workers. Some of the biggest breakthroughs in national security, public health have come from civil servants. But to Democrats, to act like they're all saints and that this is horrible to get rid of anyone, most people have interacted with the federal government and they think it is too inefficient. It doesn't work. And what I would argue is that most Americans hear about this federal buyout that basically gives you about 8 months paid leave to
That's
take.
what they say.
They say. If that actually comes true, most Americans would never get that in their job, and they would think that's amazing. They also can't relate to civil servants basically being unfireable up to this point. So there is a lot that I'm.
People got a problem with that, and we feel like that's why people are not doing their job, because they feel like I'm unfireable. There's not really a reason to do your job to the standard that it needs to be done to, because whether you do it or not, your job is good.
Or I'm the only one who knows how to operate this system.
Yeah.
And I know what's going on. I leave my notes in such a way they'll be lost. Yeah.
Concerned about and want more answers, but it's not out of step with
That's called throwing the baby out.
Hold on.
Throwing the baby out with the baby water.
Okay, so what I would say is kind of echoing some of what you're saying, Alyssa, with people have an issue with government waste. They hear the Department of Education is getting wiped out. To add a little content to that, though, for people that maybe, I'm speaking more to people that might support this idea. Remember that throwing it back to the states has some massive risks in regard to real indoctrinating of your kids. There are some really religious states. I'm a Christian, go to church, love religion, not in my public schools and not in my public institutions. That was a major virtue in the Constitution, separating those two. When you leave this up to states, you've got 50 ways to approach it. There has to be federal oversight on something that is meeting our kids every day at school. And it does. I would never leave that just to the states.
Well, and it is interesting. Can I say one more thing? Donald Trump's education secretary, he did appoint someone, Linda McMahon, is actually on the Hill today and is going to get questioned. So I'm curious to see if she actually says we're going to abolish it or if she's still seeking to be confirmed to that position. But also Trump
Does she
did
have
this.
teaching experience?
She's not a teacher, but it's been held many times by non-educators.
That doesn't matter.
But last
I like her. She's like the only one on there that has like a little bit of common sense. And then they asked, was they educated? Was she a teacher? And then she said, people had the position that wasn't a teacher before. Like, she's just not being biased. Like, you know what I'm saying? She would have left that part out just to make the point.
Yeah, like if she wasn't credible, like if she wasn't suitable for the position, she wouldn't be in it.
Yeah.
Experience?
She's not a teacher, but it's been held many times by non-educators.
That doesn't matter.
But last
We don't
week,
care.
Donald Trump signed an order regarding Title 19, and it had to.
She don't like the fact that she's going against what they're saying.
Yeah.
Like, they all on one accord, and then she's over here like, no, but he is doing this.
Yeah.
And they're like, no one cares. Yes, we do care, because we want both sides of the story.
The honest everything.
Yes, we don't just want one side of it.
That doesn't matter.
But last
We don't
week,
care.
Donald Trump signed an order regarding Title 19, and it had to do with girls, trans women in girls' sports.
Facts.
That is enforced by the Department of Education. So this, if you did away with DOE, it would invalidate that executive order. So I say that only to say, I'm not sure he's actually getting rid of it wholesale.
Like,
I
it's
think
too
he's trying to
precipitous
scale
to
it
say
back.
he's
I'm sorry. All of this, money cutting, all this stuff. I'm sorry. The United States government made a deal with Elon Musk for those cars of his. And what was the price?
$400 million.
$400 million. Cut that out.
He just got that yesterday.
I know the cars is bulletproof, bomb-proof, all types of proof. I'm pretty sure if they gave them the money, they're going to use them cars for, like, security.
Yeah.
Even to carry the president around, because they know that these cars is built to damn near withstand everything that the president would.
Yeah, they're gonna find a usage for those cars.
Yeah.
Or that technology.
Yes.
Even if it's just to improve
What they already got.
they might cut down bus drivers.
You never
Literally.
know. Because of their autonomy. They drive on their own.
Yeah.
Got that money this week.
I realize
For the
he
Tesla
won't,
truck. This
but
week he got
I
it.
just wanted to put that out there because that's a lot of money. We don't know, when do we need tanks?
Yeah, Tesla trucks.
And who said we needed to get these trucks? And why are you getting all this money like this?
And they're
why
a little ugly, too.
Well, you know, but I just wanted to let you know what the department of Education also does. They're responsible for managing college financial aid and federal student loans. 17 million college students apply for student loans and grants each year. They collect data on colleges and track students.
Well, we're gonna stop it right there.
I was about to say they need to totally fix that.
And,
then.
and they stop it right there because that's why every year college has been going up, and up, because Department of Education will give students the money for any type, whatever the college charge, they give them the money for it. And the reason they charge it so much because they know they're gonna get the money. If you get rid of Department of Education, college costs would immediately go down. And what a lot of people was talking about and what they wanted Biden to do was to get rid of their college debt because they can't pay it back. This is a step in that direction for you to be able to pay it back because you won't be paying this ridiculous interest on these loans. It's getting out of hand.
Yeah, it's totally out of hand. Totally out of hand.
Students' achievements throughout the nation, and that's their report card. They conduct investigations, issue guidance on how civil rights laws are applied, and they send money to U.S. public schools. So basically,
anybody can send money to the schools.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Anybody can do that.
you're saying to us, we're on our own. So I say, you know what? Okay. You want to kick it back to the schools? You want to kick it back to the states? Then here's what we need. This is what the state needs, and we don't need it from you. It now comes out of us. I don't know our tax money is going to.
Why do we have to pay federal taxes in that case?
I'm not sure. I'm sure they're going to kick that out at us at some point.
No, they like that.
Elon Musk promises transparency, and in the name of transparency, I want to mention something I said yesterday. I mentioned the Doge website and where they're being transparent. I was actually looking at a not official website because it ends up that you have to spend a lot of time to find the official website, and when you get to it, up until yesterday, it was just an image. It was not clickable. And now it tells us that spending, you will see it soon, receipts coming soon, no later than Valentine's Day. So my point holds up in regards to the lack of transparency, but there is an official site if you can find it. That's my point. So
like you need to they're gonna try to find anything to spin their narrative in any direction that they can. That's what I'm just starting to notice. But a lot of us feel like at this point that a lot of the stuff with the Department of Education need to be rebooted, need to be redone over.
Yeah, I'm all about being informed.
Yes. Transparency.
Transparent. And I can appreciate passion, but your passion should be backed by facts.
Yes.
It should be backed by facts. Otherwise, it goes from passion to just emotional banter.
Yeah, I agree with you 110%. Before we get out this video, if you didn't like, subscribe, or leave a comment, make sure you do that. Until our next video, it's Tremaine Jones.
And it's Lamar Wilson.
And we out.